I'm Matt from the Pickleball Clinic, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to hit a topspin drop. The topspin drop is an aggressive third shot technique that you can use to go on offense while hitting a drop if your opponent gives you a weak return. This is one of my favorite ways to not only get up to the kitchen line, but set myself up for a potential opportunity to finish the point really quickly. The first key to learning the topspin drop is to understand how we create spin, specifically topspin, in the first place. In order to get topspin, we have to make sure that the paddle is getting under the ball and brushing up. Spin is created between the friction of the paddle and the ball. So if I'm getting friction from coming under and up, that's going to cause the ball to spin forward. So what I have to do is make sure that I'm getting under the ball with my knees to come down and the paddle to come under it with the tip. So that way my swing path is going to go low to high as I hit the ball. It's almost like a windshield wiper on a car. A windshield wiper goes like this. Same thing that we're doing with the paddle here, coming under and brushing up. That's how we're going to create topspin, and that's what we're going to use to hit our third shot topspin drops. In terms of the technique, the first thing we're going to do when we're setting up for this shot, and today we're just going to talk about the forehand because the forehand is going to be a little bit easier to hit it on. We're not going to hit it as much on our backhand side because it's not going to be as consistent. So we're going to focus on the forehand here. We're going to make sure that we're spacing the paddle out from our bodies. So this shot, this drop, is going to require that our paddle comes a little bit further back rather than holding it out in front. We're going to get a little bit more of a backswing here. We're not going to take the paddle back behind our body. We're going to leave it in line with our leg right here. Then we're going to bend our knees to come down under the ball. As I said before, to get topspin, we need to come from under and up. So I'm going to bend my knees to get my body lower. I'm going to drop my hand so the tip of my paddle comes under the ball. To do this, I'm essentially turning my forearm. It's really just a forearm turn right here. Coming under the ball. As the ball approaches me, I'm going to swing up with my knees and my arm turning at the same time. So I'm going to come up with my knees and turn my arm over the ball. I'm going to follow through at about shoulder height, and then I'm going to break my wrist slightly at the end, so that's not to here, very slightly, so the tip of my paddle is facing towards the other side of the net. And that's going to be the topspin drop technique right there. When we want to go for the topspin drop, we want to make sure that we're identifying the right return to do it on. It's going to be very hard to hit a topspin drop if our opponent hits a really good, aggressive, deep, flat, or topspin return. It's easiest to hit a topspin drop off of a slice return or a return that is sitting up for us. Anytime we're hitting off of our back foot from an aggressive return like this, we want to avoid the topspin drop, just hit a regular one. The topspin drop's not going to be as consistent, so we only want to do it when we're set up. So here's going to be an example of the right return to do it on. The last tip that I'm going to leave you guys with has to do with where to hit our topspin drop. Usually it's going to be better to hit a topspin drop cross court because we have more distance for the ball to cover. That means we can hit it a little bit harder and still get it to drop into the kitchen. The thing about topspin and any spin in general is that to create it, we have to swing fast. We can't get spin if we're swinging slow and just pushing the ball. We have to swing a little bit faster to create that paddle head speed, to create that friction. So that means I have less margin for error. The faster I swing, the harder it is to get the ball to my target. So what I want to do is give myself a distance that's going to make that easier. So when I go cross court, the ball has much more distance to cover than if I go down the line. So typically I'm going to hit my topspin drops cross court. Now it's usually for righties easier to hit the ball from the left side if you're going for a topspin drop, to go inside out. That's when you're hitting the ball cross court with the forehand from the left side. I personally prefer that. Some people are going to have an easier time on the right side hitting cross court on the outside, but I find that for most players it's easier if you're on the left side to come around the ball and then shape it inside out to go into the box that's on our right. For lefties, it's gonna be the opposite. You're gonna hit the ball from the right side, come around, and then shape it out.